From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your MTN Statewide News this Friday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, Montana health authorities report 9 more COVID-related deaths across the state and more than 700 new confirmed cases today. Now, some of these numbers are catching up with MTN News, which touches base with all Montana counties more than just once a day. MTN reports 4 more deaths today, totaling 210 across the state. 3 of those deaths are in Yellowstone County and 1 in Roosevelt County. MTN reports an increase of 707 new confirmed cases since last night. Flathead County with another big boost of cases, but not to be outdone by Yellowstone County, which reports 155 new cases today. With that increase, the COVID-19 infection rate in Yellowstone County has jumped from 41 to 49 per 100,000 people. If the 7-day average stays above 40 by October 31st, a new round of restrictions will be placed on local residents and businesses. If the average reaches 50 per 100,000, those changes would go into effect sooner. Well, Yellowstone County Health Officer John Felton said bar and restaurant capacity would be allowed at 50%. Now, he had initially set that number at 25% in his announcement earlier this week, but many business owners in the community are worried their businesses may not survive another major shutdown. More than 56,000 Americans reported cases yesterday in the U.S. That's the largest daily increase since mid-August. Well, it's time now to check in on the weather scene with meteorologist Ed McIntosh. I'm hoping the weather's better than the COVID numbers.
Yeah, we got some really warm temperatures, Jeanelle, and it looks like that trend is going to continue as we start looking into, well, over a long period of time. Really, this year it really shows where the overall trend has been. There's Missoula. Most of these readings are running about 2 to 4 degrees warmer over the last 50 years. Compared to where we were in 1970. Some exceptions along the way. Check out Great Falls, where overall the trend has been fairly flat, but in Helena, we're running almost 5 degrees warmer over the course of the last 50 years. You can see the same trend holding in towards Billings as well. If you're wondering where that big dip is, that was 1985, where we had especially cool temperatures. We'll take a look at the short-term forecast for you. There's a lot of details coming up in just a little while.
All right, thanks so much, Ed. Well, 6 men connected with a militia group now face federal charges accused of plotting to storm Michigan and take hostages, including Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The FBI says the group wanted to try the Democrat for treason. 7 others were charged under Michigan's Anti-Terrorism Act. Whitmer has faced significant pressure from right-wing groups for her refusal to lift restrictions on coronavirus.
According to an FBI affidavit, the alleged conspirators met in a room under a trapdoor in a home, spent the summer training with firearms and explosives, and tried to recruit 200 men to storm the state capitol building and take hostages, including Governor Whitmer, who they planned to try for treason.
The alleged conspirators used operational security measures, including communicating by encrypted messaging platforms, and used code words and phrases.
Prosecutors say the group eventually decided to kidnap Whitmer at her vacation home, even going so far as to conduct surveillance there. One of the alleged ringleaders, Adam Fox, said that Governor Whitmer has uncontrolled power right now and described the plan as a snatch and grab. Another, Barry Croft, later stated, all good things must come to an end. Governor Whitmer has faced significant pressure from right-wing groups for her refusal to lift strict coronavirus lockdowns, something that also made her a favorite target of President Trump, who in April tweeted, "Liberate Michigan." Later that month, 2 of the suspects are seen at the Capitol with armed militia groups that have been storming the building to fight pandemic restrictions. Some of the suspects were also visible online, their social media accounts riddled with anti-government and pro-gun views.
These politicians that keep robbing us and taking our money.
But information gathered through confidential informants is what ultimately foiled their alleged plot. Yesterday, Governor Whitmer thanked law enforcement for their efforts, while also pointing the blame at President Trump for what she says is legitimizing the actions of extremist groups.
The President of the United States stood before the American people and refused to condemn white supremacists and hate groups like these 2 Michigan militia groups.
The president responded last night.
And, I see Whitmer today. She's complaining, but it was our Justice Department that arrested the people that she was complaining about. It was my Justice Department that arrested them.
The militia group identifies itself as the Wolverine Watchmen. It is unclear at this time whether the president's statements or actions influence the group in any way. That is not something that appears in the court papers. If convicted on all these charges, the suspects face up to life behind bars. Jeff Begay, CBS News, Washington.
Investigators say the militia members had been planning the kidnapping since June and had a meeting scheduled for this week until the FBI moved in. Well, yesterday, Bozeman Yellowstone International Airport unveiled its 75,000 square foot expansion. Take a look. The $26.5 million project will add new food and beverage services, retail shops, and more parking. The airport will now be able to accommodate service dogs with a special dog-friendly room and services specifically for mothers and babies. The airport is also focusing on upgrading security with more than 300 additional cameras. Well, Great Falls, Montana Tourism has just launched the Great Dam Pass. It's considered a mobile passport and will be updated monthly with new places to explore. Some places come with incentives like getting a discount if you show you've signed up for the pass. If you check in at 10 or more places each month, you'll be entered into a drawing to win items from Great Falls, Montana Tourism. Well, in spite of the pandemic, Yellowstone National Park had a record-breaking September for visits this year. Park officials say more than 837,000 people came to see the sights. So far in 2020, the park has hosted more than 3 million recreation visits, only down 11% from the same time last year. But remember, the park did close because of COVID-19 on March 24th. Up next on your new news, an incredible story about a whole community coming together to save a dog trapped on a 40-foot cliff. But first, meteorologist Ed McIntosh is in next with your Friday statewide weather forecast.